Hi everybody, I'm Melinda Gallant, and have I got a great Cape Conversations for you. We have the prodigal daughter of Sandwich, who's going to rocket to stardom as a jazz singer. Her name is Jessica Curran. So come along, let's have another Cape Conversation. I am so excited to have a rising star, a musical rising star, who hails from the town of Sandwich, Massachusetts. And oh my gosh, Jessica Curran, how are you?
I'm good.
Good to see you. So welcome home.
Thank you.
You just got in last night.
I did. I'm very tired already.
Yeah, you have a little coffee on the side there. So tell me, Jessica, tell me all about yourself. Tell me everything.
Okay. Well, I moved to Sandwich when I was about 10 years old. I went to Sandwich High School.
Where'd you move from?
Just up the road, Hanson, Massachusetts.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I moved here with my family.
Next town over, as they say.
Yeah, sure. Went to Sandwich High School.
Yeah?
And in Sandwich High School, when I was about 17 years old, I was recruited for a local big band. They have their base in Falmouth, Mass.
Right.
So their name is Stage Door Canteen.
You know, Andy Troyanis is from Sandwich.
Yeah, he teaches at Mashpee High.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I spent a couple years with them, and when it came time to start college applications, I asked a few guys in the band to help me, and I ended up applying for schools all over the U.S. for jazz.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So you are a jazz, your specialty is jazz.
Yeah.
Do you sing pop ever or not usually?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you do. Of course you do.
I'll
you
sing
in
anything.
a shower like anybody else, right?
Yeah, of course. I'll sing anything. But jazz is what I studied. So.
Okay.
So the classic jazz is what I concentrated on in school. And 2 years into, so I ended up getting into University of North Texas, so which I think is number 2 in the country for jazz.
Wow.
So I went there for a couple years, and I decided that I really wanted to try doing an exchange to Europe. I found this school that we have an affiliation with called the Royal College of Stockholm, or Royal College of Music in Sweden. So,
but it's in Stockholm?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And originally I was just supposed to stay there for 5 months or so, and I ended up falling in love with it and getting really inspired to write all this music. So I ended up staying and finishing my degree there. So,
wow,
yeah.
good for you.
So I just got back yesterday.
It must have been, I mean, I'm sure did your family get to come and visit you?
My mom came for my graduation.
She did?
Yeah.
Oh, that was wonderful.
I mean, it's kind of rough, you know, it's
that's
across the world, and my exam concerts and things like that are going on while it's still very cold and very dark there. So,
do they get any daylight there?
In the summer we get almost all daylight. In the winter we had about 3 hours of sunlight, which was really difficult to do. The first winter you're like, oh, there's a lot of darkness. That's so cool. And then your second time you're like, oh, it's dark here. So yeah, I ended up staying there, and I finished my degree, and I got very inspired to write an album. So I produced an album with all students from the school. Even the recording process and the mixing process and everything most of them are students, and then there's a couple guest appearances by very kind of famous jazz people in Stockholm. So that was very cool. I got a gypsy jazz guitarist named Gustav Lundgren. He did a guest appearance, and then I used a Swedish folk traditional instrument called the nyckelharpa, which
is it like a piano or a harpsichord or a guitar or a sitar?
So you have to use your imagination, I guess.
Okay.
It lays on your lap.
Uh-huh.
It's got a lot of keys, and you press keys and it has like 16 strings or something.
Wow.
So you press these keys and then you play it with a bow. So it's almost
bow,
like a violin, but
but not. So is it what would almost be like a not a lute, but a
it's in that area.
Okay.
Yeah. So I discovered
I've never
this.
heard of this.
Yeah, I know, but if you look it up on the internet, you probably will never have seen it either. But I got one of Sweden's top nyckelharpa players for this album. Yeah. Nyckelharpa. Yeah. So yeah, his name is Erik Rydval. So he recorded a song on my album too. So.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Excellent. What's the name of the album?
The album is called Here.
Oh, I just happen to have one here. Yes. Here by Jessica Curran. Yay. So exciting.
Oh, yeah.
Here it is. Where can you get this album if you wanted it?
You can visit my website, jessicacurran.com.
Right.
And there's a link on the front page to CD Baby.
Okay.
So CD Baby can get you the actual the hard copy of the album, where you can download it. It's also on all major platforms like Spotify and iTunes and all that stuff. So yeah.
Wow, that's great.
Pretty easy to find. Yeah.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah, thanks.
So here you are. You're less than 25, I'm assuming.
Yep. 24.
24. Oh, still young.
Yeah.
25, it's all downhill. No. No. So here you are, and you're getting ready to start a tour. So you're home one night or 2 nights or something?
2
Here in
nights.
good old Sandwich?
Yeah.
You're going to have to go have a stuffed quahog or something.
Yeah. Would be nice to sit down. I'll be back for Thanksgiving.
Oh, that'll be good.
So that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm traveling to the places where I've made connections already, so I can also visit my friends at the same time.
Yeah.
But so the day after tomorrow, I'm heading down to New York and playing a show.
And where are you playing the show there?
Rockwood Music Hall.
Rockwood Music Hall.
Yeah.
Excellent. Are you going to play a couple of nights or one night?
One night.
One night.
I'm playing one night, and then
one night only, folks.
Yes. And then from there, I'm going to fly down to Texas and play with the musicians I played with in college. And
oh, nice.
Yeah, and
where in Texas? In
Dallas. It's
Dallas?
A little bit north of Dallas, but I have
wonderful.
one in the Dallas area, and then one in the town that I went to school in. So.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, it'll be really nice. And then I come back.
Yeah.
And then I'm playing a show here.
I know. Now let's talk about that show.
Yes.
And you're playing here in the fabulous Sandwich Town Hall, right?
Town Hall, yeah.
Glass Town Stage.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see it. Linnell was telling me, Linnell Grudman organized this whole thing for me. And she told me that they refurbished the room so we can have a nice piano there and lots of seats.
It's fabulous, and the acoustics are unbelievably wonderful.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah, I think you're really going to like it. You're really going to like it.
Yeah, and so Linnell and I got really inspired. When I was releasing this album, I actually put out a video for Kickstarter.
Yeah.
So people that saw it could donate money and get basically a pre-order for the album.
Sure.
So, but the whole vision I had for it was I wanted to incorporate different forms of art to be inspired by my music and vice versa.
Right. So did you work with an artist, or did you do all the art?
Yeah, so what happened was I got 7 different artists for each of the songs, and everybody did an artistic interpretation of each of the songs, which was really cool, because some of it was like, we have a girl from Australia, a couple from Sweden, some from Massachusetts. My little sister did one.
Oh my gosh!
Which is my favorite one.
Of course.
She's 10 years old.
Yeah.
So yeah, she was very inspired, I think, at the same time as me, by this, marriage between the arts. One of my songs I did a music video for, and we had 2 dancers they choreographed a routine to one of my songs, and we put that out. So that's also
nice.
on my website and
Oh,
YouTube
excellent.
and stuff. Yeah.
So if you want to see any of this, order the album, just go to jessicacurran.com.
Exactly.
Excellent,
Yeah.
excellent.
So Linnell and I were talking, and she was like, well, why don't we do a show and have an artist? So my hope is that we're going to have an artist painting at the same time being inspired by the music that they hear.
Wonderful.
And at the end of the show, we're going to raffle off that painting.
So, wonderful.
Yeah.
Excellent. That sounds terrific.
Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful. So tell me though, who's your inspiration? Okay, I mean, let's face it, jazz isn't the number one.
Yeah, of course.
Know, it's hip hop, it's rap, pop music.
Yeah.
Then you may slide way down the ladder to classical, opera and all of that. So what made you want to do jazz? Although I find jazz very creative, and you do fusion, right?
Yeah, it's like jazz pop.
Yeah,
It's a conglomerate of the two. But so I grew up with my grandparents basically. When I was living down the road in Hanson, I grew up in my grandparents' house. Yeah. And my grandfather's so funny because he's Irish and the whole deal. And
bigger than life.
Yeah. You remind him of a song, he'll start singing it. Yeah. And it's either some Irish song or some folk song or a jazz song.
Right.
So when I started performing in this big band, I was realizing I already knew some of this music. Yeah. Not that jazz was something I listened to as a teenager.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, exactly. I was listening to the angsty, rock. Yeah. When I heard this music, I realized I knew a lot of these songs, probably because my grandfather was singing them already.
Right.
And then I think once you start doing it and you learn what jazz is about, it's really kind of inspiring and very, it hits you deep, I think.
Sure.
Yeah. And especially when you're in it.
Yeah.
Jazz, you can classify it as the things that you hear in the 30s, either the swing or the that.
Well, that's scatting.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, or improvising of some sort. But when you're in that mindset of taking a fresh look at the music every time you play, it can start to feel that jazz kind of comes to any type of music that you sing, or play. So this is what I do with my own music, and then that's why I think you can classify it as jazz, because it does have a feel of improvisation in it, rather than just the same thing over and over again. You come with a fresh look, and you're very in the moment all the time. So.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite jazz singer that you like, or several?
You mean the classic ones, or something that's
No.
around today?
I thought today. I mean, one of my favorite singers, and I don't know whether she's jazz or not, but is Madeleine Peru.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I met her in Stockholm.
You did?
Yeah, she's great.
She's a hot ticket.
Yeah.
I've seen her a couple of times, and in Boston. And,
yeah.
To me, she has that sultry. Yeah. There's a kind of sultry sound. But who are some of your favorites?
I'm really in love with Esperanza Spalding.
Oh my gosh, how could you not?
Yeah. All right, you know her.
Yeah, of course I do. And if you don't know her, you need to go out and look for her music, because she's unbelievable.
Definitely.
And she plays the bass too, doesn't she?
Yeah, she plays upright bass. And, but she does the same thing. She tries to incorporate different forms of music into jazz and have that mentality. So she released an album that was chamber music, so she took the classical instrumentation and things like that and added improvisation into it, and then took pop music and did the same thing. So
very cool.
Yeah, so that's what I try to do here. I take, this album was supposed to be, I mean, for me, I became very inspired by my travels, so I took the music that I heard from the countries I visited, and I tried to incorporate that into my own sound. So there's I mean, my family's Irish, you know, so I went to go do the whole retracing the roots thing.
Yeah. Did you go to Ireland to do that?
Yeah.
Nice.
I spent Christmas with my cousins, and I met all my family there.
Oh,
so
nice.
that was cool. But there's a song on there called "Belonging," and it's about finding those roots, you know. And I took, and I had an Irish whistle player play on that.
Oh, nice.
And I used some of the rhythms from Irish folk music. And the Swedish, you know, I have the Swedish nyckelharpa. And I went to Spain, and I took some of the flamenco rhythms and tried to incorporate that with the Swedish nyckelharpa.
So is all of this original music, or did you? So it's all original.
Yep.
Lyrics and all.
I wrote the music, the lyrics, the arrangements. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Everything's mine.
And do you play the piano?
I play enough to compose, but I don't play it on the album. Nobody wants to hear that. No. Yeah. Some of it was done in collaboration with some other people who play piano better than I do, but
sure.
You know, a lot of these, yeah.
So you're going to play in the town hall on the 25th,
Saturday.
Right, Saturday night. And I know tickets are $15.
Yes.
Yes, they are. And who are you bringing with you? Who's going to be the trio? I think you're having a trio, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's actually kind of a mix. So my old teacher, his name is Jim Peterson. He lives, or he lived in Wareham. So, but he plays in Stage Door Canteen.
Sure.
So he's going to play bass.
Nice.
I'm bringing a drummer from Texas.
Oh wow, you're flying him in.
Yeah, he is actually from New York, so
yeah.
He's going to spend Thanksgiving home and then come with me. So his name is Chris Petro, and
nice.
He wrote one of the songs with me on the album.
Nice.
So it's cool. And then the pianist is from Belgium, and she's our music has been circulating around, and we've kind of found out about each other. And now she's studying in Boston at Berkeley with some of my friends from Texas. So,
no way.
So I decided to ask her. So
that's great.
None of us have played together before. So it's
you have to have a rehearsal, or
oh yeah,
are you so professional you don't even need that anymore?
Yeah, no, we're gonna rehearse, but I think there's something very cool about the fact that I'm bringing people from all these different places, and we're all gonna add our own voice in the process.
Well, it also, I mean, it just speaks to the diversity of music, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
Plus, you've got different age ranges in there.
Oh yeah.
Because I bet you Mr. Peterson isn't 25.
He's not 25. No.
That's what I'm thinking. So you're going to play at Sandwich Town Hall. Now, will all your family be able to come see you?
Yeah,
excellent.
I'm hoping.
Oh, excellent.
I mean, everybody lives in the same area, so
oh, nice.
So I'm really hoping my grandfather's there.
Do you have any friends that are still in this area that you went to high school with?
Yeah, a lot of my friends are still in Boston, or they moved
great.
out to Boston. So I'm hoping that my friends are going to be there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it'll be really nice.
Excellent. And your little sister?
Oh yeah, I have 3 younger siblings. One's Patrick's 14. Sorry, Pat. Pat's 14, John's 12, and Maureen's 11. So
excellent.
So they're all going to be there.
Excellent. Good. That's wonderful. So where do you go from here? I mean, here you are. You've got a mini tour going on. I mean, you put together this CD on your own, right? Your album on your own. You did it all on your own.
Well, with support from my Kickstarter people.
Well, and
a lot of them were from Sandwich.
Right,
so
sure. And support from your Kickstarter people, which is wonderful. And isn't that a neat thing, Kickstarter?
Oh, yeah.
I have a friend whose son-in-law is a filmmaker out in New Mexico. And he did a great film about a young girl who really loves math, and everybody kind of puts her down because of it.
Yeah.
Because she does do so well in math, and she comes from a difficult home situation. But he went through Kickstarter, and now it's been picked up to be used for an education purposes.
Oh, great!
I know, but it started with Kickstarter. Everybody giving
it gives
a couple of bucks.
A lot of opportunities.
It does.
And when I was putting the names on the envelopes to send all this stuff out, it was very sentimental. It's like, you haven't heard from some of these people for a long time, but they're still there, and they're in your lives, and they're supporting you, and it's really great. Yeah.
Well, and so you do all of that. Now, this is one step. Then there's probably another step. Where do you see your career going?
Yeah.
I mean, do you see yourself traveling in a bus like Willie Nelson and traveling around the country and
I mean, that's
singing?
the hope, yeah. What I have labeled as my life goal and dream is that I can incorporate my dreams of travel and music into one. So I've met a couple of South American people in Sweden. One is from Colombia, one's from Argentina. And we started writing music together right before I left, and we recorded a small EP. And my plan right now is that I'm going to fly to South America in a couple months, and I'm going to start learning all that music. Yeah, because if you travel around South America, there's so many different rhythms that we don't know because we haven't grown up with that stuff. So. I wanna keep making music with these guys and see where it leads, and make a similar album, with different influences this time. So
absolutely.
And then hopefully it's the
whole. Do you need an agent, or can you do this all on your own?
I'm doing it on my own right now.
But if an agent came to you, I mean,
I would gladly accept their
but
help.
You haven't sent anything out to any agents yet.
No. I mean, it's getting to the point where it's a full-time job just to book, just to promote, just to make music.
And contracts and all of that.
Oh yeah.
Want to get your money.
Yeah. But that's the next step, I think. Expanding what I think you have to have a base first. And so now I have an album, and now I've reached out to people from all over the world, and I think it's time to expand.
You know how they talk about the Great American Songbook, right? So are you singing a version of that in a sense? No, you're singing all original music.
The Great American Songbook is what I started with and what I studied.
I see.
So I, as much as I love that music,
and I
we
still
all
do, but we also like to.
Yeah, this is all my original composition.
Sure.
So,
wonderful.
Yeah. So
that is so terrific. Excellent. So here we are. You're going to perform on the 25th at Sandwich Town Hall on the Glasstown stage, which will be so exciting for all of us. You're going to have a local guy. You're going to have somebody from Belgium. You're going to have somebody from Texas.
Yeah.
Is he originally from Texas, or is he from
New York? But
he's originally from New York. So there
lives
you
in
go.
Texas now.
Yeah, you go. Have you thought about trying to get your album to jazz radio stations and those kinds of things? And so you're working on that too.
Yeah, sending my music out. I'm getting some reviews from newspapers. Actually, Downbeat magazine, which is the biggest jazz magazine in America, they were at my show, my release party in Stockholm. So they're writing a review they're writing an article about me right now. Oh,
wonderful!
So that's
excellent.
Really cool.
Excellent.
Really, really cool. So there's cool things on the horizon. And
here you are. You're just from little old Sandwich.
Yeah, exactly.
Founded in 1632.
Oldest town on Cape Cod.
We know all the stuff, don't we? We should have you sing. Did you have to learn it when you came to school? Well, you were 10 when you moved here. You might not have. Old Cape Cod. If you're fond of sand dunes and salty air.
Oh, but I know it.
No.
I know the song. I've never sung it though.
Oh, is that right?
Maybe I'll have to sing it at my show.
Oh, you know what? You want to bring tears to people's eyes.
That's a good idea.
I'm just saying.
Maybe I'll end my show like that.
And then say,
but I'm not giving anything away.
Just tell them to throw money afterwards.
Yeah. But actually, half the proceeds from the tickets themselves are going to Sandwich Town Hall.
Oh, so. I know. For our preservation. I know all about that. That's terrific. And once you see the hall, I think you'll find it absolutely really beautiful. Yeah, it is gorgeous and totally restored. So, and it was funny because I got to be a part of that, and they were chipping paint off the ceiling, this beautiful kind of beveled ceiling. And all of a sudden they kept seeing all these funny little things. It turns out it was all stenciled. So they brought in an archivist who does that kind of stenciling, whatever it is. And they brought them in, and on her back, she did re-stenciled the entire ceiling to match what was originally there.
That's so cool.
It's very cool.
Wow.
So the reason why I tell you this is because as an artist and a musician, when you walk in there, I've been fortunate enough to do direct some shows there and things. You just get the feeling that it's a nice feeling that things have gone on before you. You know, community. It gives you a real sense of community.
Yeah,
and I have a feeling you're that kind of person.
Lots of history.
So, lots of history for sure.
That.
Oldest town on the Cape. Anyway, so I just want to thank you for being with me today.
Yeah, thank you.
It's so great to talk to you. I wish you the best of luck. I think everybody in Sandwich will wish you the best of luck. I think probably there'll be. At the music awards, not the country western ones, but those other ones.
No.
I bet you someday we see you up there, along with Esperanza. You'll get to meet her. I have no doubt in my mind.
I have met her.
Oh, you have met her?
Yeah.
Wow. Is she as tall and thin as she looks?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
She is? Okay.
Beautiful.
Because the first time I ever saw her was at Symphony Hall. With
how beautiful is that?
What's his name? Bodie, Chris Bodie. Is it Chris Bodie? Yeah. Bodie, yeah.
Bodie.
Bodie. Okay. She was. There were a lot of it was kind of like his friends were there, and she was one of them.
Wow.
And it was like, whoa! And I had never heard of her before that. And then after that, I've seen her on TV, at the White House for special events and things like that, and she sings.
Yeah, she's great. Yeah. She's everywhere.
Yeah.
She was in Stockholm with, they were honoring Wayne Shorter, and and Sting. They were honoring Wayne Shorter and Sting. So they were there. Esperanza Spalding was there, and then all my friends were there, and I didn't know about it until after, and I saw all my friends with Esperanza and Wayne Shorter, and
wait a minute, guys.
Everything's in Swedish, so sometimes they slip past my awareness. But
did you have to learn the language out of curiosity?
Actually, everybody speaks English there really well, but I think when you're a musician, you pick up things, subconsciously, and I can understand a lot of what's going on.
Is that right? Oh
wow. I'm very slow at speaking it, so people tend to switch pretty quickly because it's so easy for them to speak English. So you learn very slow.
Sure.
But
excellent. Yeah. Well, I want to thank you again.
Thank you
again. Best of luck to you.
Thank you so
much. And I wish you nothing but success.
Thank you.
And we all do here in Sandwich. Yeah. And I will be there on the 25th. Can't wait. Yay. Thanks. Okay, guys. Jessica Curran. She was terrific. Oh, and her new CD album, as they call them, here is going to be fabulous and rise to the charts, I have no doubt. She's an up-and-coming star, and she's from Sandwich. How exciting. Anyway, I want to thank you for joining me today, and I'll look for you the next time on another Cape Conversations.